Hi, this is Aracely Torres Martinez, and I'm going to be doing my presentation on fintech and how technology is transforming our money. Alright, so firstly, I'm going to be going into my thesis statement right here, which is fintech is changing the way that we handle our money through innovation, but we must understand the risks so that we can use it safely. I feel like this is a very important thing because a lot of technology that we use, we don't really understand or fully understand the types of risks that we are going through when we use it, especially with our data. A lot of us are just willingly give our data away, and I feel like that's a very important thing to tackle here. Um, Especially when it comes to fintech, which has to do with our finances. It's something that is a really big part of our lives, and I feel like we need to understand how this can help us and how we can benefit from using this type of technology, because fintech is there to help us, is there to make things a lot more convenient. But if we do not understand how to use it or what it can do, um, we pose the risks to ourselves and to others. So, what is fintech? Fintech is short for financial technology. It is the use of tech to deliver financial services. I feel like one of the biggest examples of this that a lot of us use every single day is mobile banking specifically. I know that I use it a lot every single day. I know that when I get out of my classes, I want to know how if I can afford to go buy something on my way home. Um, it just makes things a lot more easier, especially just having to not have to go to a traditional bank to do any type of like transfer of money or to deposit checks. There's like direct deposits now, and you can just check your balances too. Especially like how I was saying, like if I'm trying to see if I can afford something, I can just do it really quick with the click of a button, see how much money I have in my account and see if I can afford it or not, and boom, and I also use tap to pay as well. It makes it a lot more convenient that I don't have to carry around my wallet with all of that, and I can just keep my driver's license in my phone case, and I don't have to carry around a big old wallet with me everywhere. Makes it really convenient. Some more examples of financial technology is payment apps, digital wallets, and online investing. So before we can even go into the everyday uses and different types of uses of fintech and the risks that come with it, we need to understand the history of fintech. So I'm very briefly going to go over it. So first we're going to go into the very earliest forms of fintech, which was in the form of credit cards and ATMs. These came around between the 1950s and the 1980s, and these are what have evolved to the credit cards and the ATMs that we know today. I'm sure that we are all familiar with it. I'm sure that we have used a credit card or have used an ATM before. Then we go into the 1990s and the 2000s, where we go into online stock trading and electronic banking services. This can be seen with businesses like Charles Schwab, Wells Fargo, and Citibank, which were one of the earliest forms of these online stock trading or electronic banking services. Then we go into the 2005s and the 2010s, where we are introduced to peer-to-peer lending platforms and mobile payments. The first form of this was Lending Club, which was very popular. And then we go into Square, which I'm sure that we have seen before and with smaller businesses even today. Square has made it more accessible for smaller businesses to be open to accepting online payments, and I feel like you can see this a lot more if you have ever traveled outside of the country. Smaller businesses utilize Square a lot more outside of the US. Then we go into the 2010s and the 2015s. Then we get into crowdfunding, which can be seen with Kickstarter and cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin. Then we get into 2015 to the present, where robo advisors and digital banking is more popularized as well. And this can be seen with Betterment and Monzo. So let's get into our everyday uses of fintech. Most of us use fintech daily, sometimes without even realizing it. We pay friends back instantly using apps like Cash App or Venmo, but me personally, I like to use PayPal. I especially like to use PayPal because I do art commissions, and it's one of the safest peer-to-peer payment apps out there that provides security for both me and the commissioner. Additionally, we utilize the tap to pay features in stores. Like I said earlier, I carry my cards in a digital wallet, so I don't have to carry around a physical wallet. And we can check our bank accounts from anywhere and deposit checks remotely with just a picture on our phones through our mobile banking apps. I especially like to utilize this form because I don't like having to go to the bank when I get a refund from the school in the form of a check through the mail. I like the form of just being able to take a picture of the check online and deposit the money instantly into my account without having to drive anywhere. So fintech isn't only about sending money, it also includes investing apps where you can start with just a few dollars and move up to even a couple hundred. There's also online lenders that approve loans quickly without the use of a traditional bank. This is where we're getting into slightly dangerous territory because while it is more convenient for us to get a loan for something, if we aren't properly educated on financial literacy, this can be really harmful. This is why it's important for us to understand the risks, and I'll go into that a little bit later. But lastly, we get into digital only banks that have no physical branches. These tools make services more accessible to people who might not have an easy access to traditional financial institutions. So, what are the benefits of fintech? Fintech has a lot of different advantages. Firstly, it's fast and convenient. It's available 24/7 and you can access it with just the click of your finger on your mobile device. It can be cheaper because these apps are trying to compete with banks themselves. And a lot of the time, what are you looking at when you are trying to choose a provider or an application to use? You're looking at the price of it. You're looking if it is it cheaper and is it as good as this other competition that's around. Um, so it promotes these apps to be a lot better and a lot cheaper. It also promotes financial inclusion because it lets more people participate in the financial system. Like I had said earlier, with applications like Square, which allows these small businesses to go into the pool of more consumers because a lot of consumers, like myself, have transitioned to more only digital currency, and this allows these small businesses to accept these payments and accept the different types of forms of payments with just a one-time payment instead of having to pay for all these different types of services, so they can accept payment options like Apple Pay or with MasterCard or with Visa. There's also a lot more customization because there's a lot more personalized tools, you could say, like for budgeting and saving or investing. These benefits are a major reason why fintech continues to grow so rapidly today. So, with the convenience that comes with fintech, there also comes the risks. This is where we have to be careful because everything is digital. Fintech can be exposed to different types of cybersecurity risks like hacking, phishing, and data breaches. This can be seen with the Wells Fargo data breach that happened in 2024 that affected hundreds and thousands of people and led to a lot of fraudulent activity. There's also the issue of privacy since these apps are always tracking our financial behaviors. We don't have the financial privacy that we used to have with physical currency. Um, and there's also a lack of regulations as well because since there's so many new technologies and new advancements every single day, these regulations will tend to lag behind. There's also newer services like cryptocurrency. There's a lot of financial risks that come with it because it is so unpredictable. So this is why we have to stay informed so that we can use these tools safely. All right, to sum it up, fintech is a tool that we should all be taking advantage of. Like I said before, fintech is there to help you and it is there to help you make things a lot more convenient. You should educate yourself on the way fintech can benefit you. Fintech has a lot of different uses that I've went over in the slideshow, and you should try to find the ways that you can benefit yourself in your own life. Like I have before, I like how I use PayPal because it benefits me in giving me protection, and it also offers me a convenient way to make transactions between me and my consumers. Technology will continue to evolve, so it is important to stay updated on new advancements and new information that will pop up. and you should understand the ways that you can keep yourself safe, because understanding the privacy aspect and the security aspect is what can help technology evolve faster, and understanding both of these sides can make us make smarter decisions with our money. So here are the references that I used in my slideshow. There's one that went over the Wells Fargo data breach that happened in 2024. The next one that gave a brief history in the evolution of fintech. And there was also the one that listed a bunch of different risks that came with fintech.